Hi, boys and girls. This is Ancient China Workbook Lesson 2. I believe it is on page 74. Just double checking that. Yep, page 74, 75, and 76. We're going to start with the main idea box at the top of the page. Main idea number 1, the Zhou dynasty expanded China but then declined. Number 2, Confucius offered ideas to bring order to Chinese society. Number 3, Taoism and legalism also gained followers. So now our key terms and people box. Lords, people of high rank. Peasants, farmers with small farms. Confucius, the most influential teacher in Chinese history. Ethics, morals or values. Confucianism, the ideas of Confucius. Taoism, an early Chinese belief that stressed living in harmony with the guiding force of all reality. Laozi, the most famous Taoist teacher. And legalism, an early Chinese belief that people were bad by nature and needed to be controlled. So we're going to go down to the lesson summary. And before I read this first section on the Zhou dynasty, or the Zhou dynasty, I want to read the question on the side. It says, how did the Zhou establish their rule throughout China? The Zhou, and the pronunciation is here, the Zhou came from an area west of the Shang kingdom. The Zhou overthrew the Shang during the 1100s BC. The Zhou expanded its territory east and northwest. Then its army moved south to the Changjiang River. The Zhou established a new political order. The king granted land to lords or people of high rank. They paid taxes and provided soldiers to the king. So I'm going to stop there for 1 second. And it wants to know, how did Zhou establish their rule throughout China? And if you go, I'm going to open up with Cami real quick. If you look in the right next to the box, it talks about how the Zhou overthrew Shang during the 1100s. So that's how it started. So put that in your words for that box. And then our next box is, what kind of wars existed during the Warring States period and why? So I'm going to start back up with the reading right here where it says peasants. Peasants, farmers with small farms, received a small plot of land and had to farm additional land for a noble. The social system brought order for a time. However, the loyalty of the lords gradually lessened. Eventually, they began to fight each other. Family structure had been the foundation of Chinese life for centuries, was severely weakened. By the 400s BC, China had entered an era called the Warring States period. So what kind of wars existed during this time and why? So again, we want to go back. And I see here it says, however, the loyalty of the lords gradually lessened. Eventually, they began to fight each other. Who were fighting each other? The lords, right? And then family structure, which had been the foundation, was severely weakened. So what kind of wars? It was against who? And why did it happen? The next section is Confucius and society. What was Confucius's goal? Toward the end of the Zhou period, the most influential teacher in Chinese history, Confucius, traveled through China. He taught that order in society stems from ethics, or moral values. He wanted China to return to the ideas and practices from a time when people knew their proper roles in society. Confucianism has been a guiding force in human behavior and religious understanding in China through the centuries. So what was Confucius's goal? He wanted China to what? So you're going to look there. He wanted China to return to what? The next section is on Taoism, excuse me, and legalism. And the first thing you're going to do is underline the sentence that describes the way Taoists regard human life. Around the same time as Confucianism, other influential beliefs arose in China. Taoism stressed living in harmony with the Tao, the guiding force of all reality. Taoists believed that people should be like water and simply let things flow in a natural way. They regarded humans as just a part of nature, not better than any other thing. Laozi was the most famous Taoist teacher. So what sentence describes the way Taoists regard human life? And here's our word regard, okay? And you're going to finish underlining that sentence. The next question, why did legalists want the state to always be prepared for war? Legalism is different from both Taoism and Confucianism. Legalists believe that society needed strict laws to control people. They believe in unity, efficiency, and punishment for bad conduct. They wanted the empire to continue to expand, so they urged the state to always be prepared for war. Legalists were the first to put their ideas into practice throughout China. So again, why did legalists want the state to always be prepared for war? And we have here, so they urged the state to always be prepared for war. What came right before it? Okay, to look for your answer. The challenge activity you can cross off. We don't do that. And then on the last page, in the first section here, we're going to choose 5 of the vocabulary words from the word bank. And you don't have to do this on a separate sheet of paper. Actually, I don't know that she's going to have you do this. So we're going to skip this part for right now. This part here, you're going to look at the set of 3 vocabulary terms, and then on the line provided, write the letter of the term that does not relate to the others. So again, 2 are connected, 1 is not. So the first one, we have ethics, Confucius, and lords. Which 2 are connected or related in some way, and 1 is not? 2, lords, Taoism, and Laozi. Which 2 are connected? 1 is not. So which one is not? You're going to put that on the line. Third, peasant, lords, Confucianism. Again, 2 are related or connected somehow. 1 is not. All right, in this last section here, you're going to write a T on the line if the statement is true. If it's false, you're going to put an F on the line. And then you need to write the correct term in the box. So the underlined term is either correct for what's written here, and you put a T, or the underlined word is incorrect or wrong, so you're going to put an F on the line, and you're going to rewrite what word should have been there. So number 4, peasants or farmers with small farms were at the bottom of the social order during the Zhou dynasty. So are peasants farmers with small farms? You can look in the key terms and people box on the first page. True or false? If it's true, put a T. If it's false, you're going to put an F, and then you have to write what word actually should have been there. Number 5, Taoism was the belief that people were bad by nature and needed to be controlled through strict laws and punishment. Is that true or false? And again, start by looking in the key terms and people box. So there's our peasants. Here's Taoism. Does this definition of Taoism fit what's there? If it does, then put a T on the line. If it doesn't, put an F, cross off Taoism, and put the correct word on that line. Number 6, Confucianism stressed living in harmony with the Tao, the guiding force of all reality. Again, go back to the key terms and people box on the first page. Is that the definition that's there? If so, for Confucianism. If so, put a T on the line. If it is not, put an F on the line. You're going to cross off Confucianism and write the correct word in the box.